Bonjour Year 9, welcome to Lesson 11 of the spring term. I hope you're all doing well. Today you'll be looking at My Future with Monsieur Bolis. Enjoy! And for today's lesson you'll need the following equipment: your exercise book, a pen and a ruler, and the sentence builder on class charts. So pause to go and get that ready now. Press play when you're ready to go on. Thanks again for uploading all your work onto class charts. It's so good to see all your hard work. Please remember to upload evidence of all your completed work, including any Quizlets, snapshots of everything, please, and clearly so that we can mark them. Also, please make sure you follow the indicated time for completion of each activity and mark and clearly write which activity you're working on. So it doesn't matter if you don't finish an activity. If the 5 minutes is up, move on to the next one. If you do have any questions about any of the activities in today's lesson, please email me, and here is my email address. Merci. Okay, Year 9, write down the date, copie la date, et le titre, et l'objectif. Pause to do that now, press play when you're ready for the do now activity. Now your do now should take about 5 minutes. I want you to answer the following questions in English in your exercise book. So these are based on what you've been doing for the previous lessons with Monsieur Bolis. So I want you to answer the 4 questions in your book. Press pause now to answer them, press play to get the answers. Is the imperfect tense a past, present or future tense? Well, it is of course a past tense. It's to say what you used to do. 2. What are the 3 reasons to use the imperfect tense? Well, we use the imperfect tense to talk about what was happening in the past, what used to happen over a given amount of time, or what was ongoing when something else happened. And that is what you covered in the previous lessons. Something was happening and then all of a sudden something else happened. And to say what was happening in the background, you use the imperfect tense. 3. How do you form the imperfect tense? Well, first of all, you take the new form of the present tense of the verb. The second part is to cross the ONS out. And then the third is to add the imperfect endings to that verb. And number 4, what are the 6 endings of the imperfect tense? Well, it's a really simple rule because for ER, IR and RE verbs, the rule is the same. You're just going to add the AAS, AAS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT to the endings of the verb. Have a fantastic lesson with Monsieur Bolis, and I look forward to seeing your fabulous work. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
So on your screen, Year 9, now you have the sentence builder we will be using this lesson. First, let's have a look at the question. Qu'est-ce que tu feras à l'avenir? What will you do in the future? So it's really talking about, after your GCSE, after your studies, in the coming years, what will you do, and projecting yourself. The first column is all about sentence starters. Can you repeat after me, please? À l'avenir, l'année prochaine, dans 4 ans, dans 10 ans, dans 20 ans. And you've all noticed that we don't pronounce the S at the end of on. The second column is really the core of our learning today in the lesson, with all those verbs in the simple future. Now, we will be talking about the simple future again in a couple of lessons, but that is a tense you did before the Christmas break with your teacher. So looking again at the second column, can you repeat the following phrases after me? Je quitterai le collège. J'irai au lycée. Je ferai un apprentissage. Je travaillerai à l'étranger. Je voyagerai. J'aurai un bon salaire. J'aurai une Ferrari. J'habiterai à Paris. J'habiterai sur une île tropicale. Je serai très riche. Je serai heureux. Je serai heureuse. Oh, well done. For the last two, heureux and heureuse, I'm sure you remember that the difference between those two words is, of course, whether it's masculine or feminine. The feminine one having an E at the end. And the third column, you've got connectives joining all the sentences together. And the last column, you've got reasons why. Ce sera génial, ce sera super, ce sera formidable, ce sera merveilleux. For our first activity, I want you to spot the English word I am going to put in the middle of a sentence I'm about to read, and then write down its French in your exercise book. So write down numbers 1 to 8 in your exercise book, and then I want to see the word that I should have said in French. Numéro 1. L'année prochaine, j'irai au collège et ce sera génial. 2. Dans 4 ans, je travaillerai abroad et à mon avis, ce sera formidable. 10 ans, j'aurai un bon salaire et je think que ce sera merveilleux. 4. In 20 ans, j'aurai une Ferrari et à mon avis, ce sera génial. 5. Dans 10 ans, je serai very riche et ce sera super. 6. À l'avenir, je ferai un apprentissage et it sera formidable. 7. Dans 10 ans, j'aurai un good salaire et à mon avis, ce sera merveilleux. 8. L'année prochaine, j'habiterai in Paris et je pense que ce sera super. Good work. Let's have a look at the correction. Numéro 1, lycée. 2, à l'étranger. 3, pense. 4, dans. 5, très. 6, ce. 7, bon. 8, à. Please note number 4 and 8. In both cases, I said in. However, you've got different ways to say in French. So either dans or à, depending on the context. À, always in front of town or cities. Take the time to take correction. Your teacher and I should be able to see the difference between the work you do in class and your correction. So make sure it stands out on your piece of paper. For our next activity, I'm going to read you some sentences from what you are seeing on the screen, and I want you to write them down in your exercise book as I say them. The first 3 I'll read them in French and you write them down in French. The last three, I'll read them in English and you write them down in French. So everything is written in French in your exercise book. Numéro 1. Dans 10 ans, j'aurai une Ferrari. J'aurai une Ferrari. Et ce sera formidable. Et ce sera formidable. 2. L'année prochaine, j'irai au lycée, et à mon avis, ce sera génial. Ce sera génial. 3. Dans 20 ans, j'habiterai à l'étranger. J'habiterai à l'étranger. Et je pense que ce sera merveilleux. Ce sera merveilleux. 4. À l'avenir, je serai très riche. Je serai très riche. Et je serai heureux. Et je serai heureux. Okay, I did one more sentence than I said reading in French, so now the last two will be me reading in English and you write down in French, please. 5. In 4 years, I will do an apprenticeship. And I think that it will be super. It will be super. 6. In 10 years, I will live on a tropical island. I will live on a tropical island. And in my opinion, It will be terrific. It will be terrific. Good work, Year 9. You now can see the 6 sentences that I've just read to you. Can you please take the time to check every single word, making sure that you've got the same on your screen as in your exercise book. Once again, we should be able to see the difference between your correction and your classwork. When you finish doing all this, you can translate the sentences into English. Don't forget to press pause before you move on to the next activity. What I would like you to do next is to move on to Quizlet, follow the link that is on class charts, complete the activity Learn, and finally complete the test activity. And send me or your teacher a screenshot of your score, please. Now, of course, if you're logged in onto Quizlet, it will be easier for your teacher to see your score if you're making a mistake. For activity 4, I want you to think about your own sentences. So think about writing 5 sentences of your choice and translate them into English, please. What would you like? What will you do in the future? Press pause and then press play when you're ready for your final activity. So now is the time to check your knowledge. How much of the lesson do you remember? Here are 5 sentences I want you to translate without the help of your book. You can press pause, and when you're ready, press play again. Let's see the correction. À l'avenir, j'irai au lycée et ce sera génial. Check your work. Make sure that you've got all the accents in the right place. 2. L'année prochaine, je ferai un apprentissage et à mon avis, ce sera formidable. 3. Dans 4 ans, je voyagerai et ce sera merveilleux. Check the spelling of merveilleux. It's not an easy word to spell. 4. Dans 10 ans, j'habiterai à Paris et je pense que ce sera super. Once again, check the spelling of your work. Did you put the accent on the A of à Paris? Did you put an apostrophe after the J? 5. Dans 20 ans, j'aurai un bon salaire et je serai heureux. Thank you for your hard work, Year 9. I'm sure your teacher and I would be extremely pleased to see all the work you've completed today. Don't forget to upload it on class charts then. Au revoir.